So recently I made a bad decision. On social media, I put out this framework and said, hey, if anybody's interested, I'm giving away this framework for free. Reach out to me, DM me if you're interested, thinking nobody really would. I was wrong. A lot of people want this. And so I just wanted in this video to go through my exact email marketing lead generation agency framework. I'm going to try to keep this as uncut as possible. But I really just wanted to go through, I've already been through how I do my new client acquisition. I'll put up a card when I talk about that, but I want to talk about fulfillment and then implementation going forward. So like I said, this is kind of my framework. It looks pretty intimidating when you're looking at it from kind of this perspective, but I'm going to try to break it down in the most simple way possible. So I've actually already gone through my client acquisition strategy. This is my cold email. These are literally the exact same scripts that I use for cold email. And I actually made a video about that already. So if you're interested in watching that, go check the card right there, because I'm not gonna try to redo this. I've already made an entire video on it, so just go check that video out, and you'll see these exact script that I use. In this video, I want to go over more so fulfillment and implementation. So let's just start with fulfillment. When you land a client, this seems to be like a common, I guess, misconception or question that's asked out there is like, okay, I can sell my service. I know what I'm servicing, but like, how do I actually do the service in an effective way for my clients? So I want to break down kind of my process for doing things so that you can literally just copy and paste it into your business, into your agency, whatever you may have. So the process right here is one, this is post-sale, by the way. This is considering you've already had the meetings, you've already booked the client, you already, you have them on board, or you're going to be working with them. The client will send the first invoice. So make sure that they pay the first invoice. And this is like a massive lesson that I had to learn in my agency, is that make sure that they pay you before there's any work done, period. Man, the amount of times in the beginning where I have been run around because I've been doing work for these clients and they haven't paid me, and then I have to like go chasing down an invoice. It's just not fun. So make sure they pay you first. And then here's the onboarding phase. Onboarding can be as little or as complex as you want it to be. The only things that I cover in onboarding are logging into the EMS, so the email service provider, whatever they use, MailChimp, Beehive, OmniSend. We'll go over those later in the video as well. And then establish goals. So like if you're onboarding an email marketing client and their goals are to make $10,000 a month, start making $10,000 a month with their email marketing. Or it's just they want to implement the flows that you pitch them. I want to implement a new subscriber acquisition flow. How can you get more subscribers? And then a nurture flow, and then a return to cart flow. So maybe the goals are just getting those done and then retaining those in the back end. But the main thing that you can track goals with are KPIs. What are KPIs? Key performance indicators. So let's say, I have a list of 100,000 people, and I get an open rate of 40%. So 40,000 people are opening my emails. Well, the KPI for the goal of making $10,000 a month with email marketing would be, okay, we got a 40% open rate. That means out of the 4,000 people, we need to make X number of dollars per person. And the KPIs could be revenue driven, click-through rates, open rates. So establish like what metrics are you going to track that are going to get you closer to, achieving those goals. And then what I like to do is I like to create a strategy deck. So in the strategy deck, and I've also made a video on like kind of my deck that I use, my, I guess, pitch that I use for like how we're going to achieve these goals, is get a content calendar or plan of action, expected outcomes, success metrics. And then I like to set weekly or bi-weekly meetings. I've always said like being in front of my client and talking to them, well, you're not going to be face-to-face on Zoom call, right? But like the more that I can talk to you as a human being, the better our relationship is going to be, because I like to think that I'm a people person. I like to talk clearly. And so I like to set these weekly, bi-weekly meetings where I can sit down with them and talk about, some things within what we're doing for them. Hopefully all good things, but there have been times where you sit down and say, hey, this is not working really well. How can we do better in this? What are some recommendations? Or here's some things that I'm going to be trying. And then once you get this process done, this whole onboarding process, you begin work. And this is really where the meat of this video kind of comes into play. So begin work can mean a couple of different things. This can mean, like I said earlier, maybe they're just onboarding you as an agency to do their growth. You want to be a growth partner, a growth agency. This could also be lead generation. There's a couple different ways within email growth. So let's go into this. So the way that I approach, a client, say they want to grow their email list, there's two different ways that you can approach growing an email list. The first is free, and the second is paid. Let's go over free first. So these are things that you can start doing like right now that don't cost $1 that will effectively get more subscribers on your email list. So the first one here is just website entrance intent. You guys are very familiar with this, whether you think you are or not. I'm going to raise this a little bit. Whether you think you are or not, you know exactly what this is. A visitor comes to your website. The pop-up happens with the incentive, and then the subscriber enters their email. And here's like an example from Bombas, the sock company. Get 20% off your first order, and then they would click the button. You guys are all familiar with this. This is an incredibly easy thing to implement from day one. And it's also an incredibly easy thing to pitch in your meeting for a suggestion, like when you do an email marketing audit for somebody. Typically what I do, like let's say I book a client for a call, it's like just a discovery call, nothing crazy, like I don't have them as a client yet, but I'll create like a small list of an audit, just things they can take away from that meeting that whether they work with me or not are going to benefit them in the long run. So if they don't have a pop-up, make sure that you throw this in the audit. Like from day one, you need a pop-up, because if you're getting thousands or even hundreds of visitors to your website, there's opportunities that are being missed every single day, like on a daily basis. Let's say you get 1,000 people to visit your website a day. Well, even if those can convert at a 10% rate, that's 100 people a day you're missing out on to put on your email list. And we'll talk about a little bit why that's so important later on. But this can be done through most EMSs. So like I said, email service providers. So if you're working with Klaviyo has a great pop-up designing template that you can use within their platform, but also Beehive has a similar thing. So they all have kind of similar frameworks. You just have to learn the actual platform itself. And then the second thing here is content writing. So this is how I get people to sign up for my subscriber list, my personal newsletter, which by the way would be a nice kind of like segue plug. I do have a newsletter I run called Win in Marketing. When you sign up, you get a 7-page free marketing cheat sheet, and then you also get outreach templates that you can use for your agency as well. And some of those will be in this kind of framework as well. But just a pretty cool incentive to do. So go sign up if you haven't already. There's also like a weekly newsletter that I put out just for marketing tips and tricks that you can keep up to date with. And I would love to have you there. So what I just did was a kind of pitch to get people to sign up for my newsletter. So you can kind of do similar things within YouTube videos, within Twitter or X. You create free content on social media to target an audience to funnel your newsletter and funnel to your newsletter. So obviously you guys are lead generation agencies in general, marketers. So I want you to sign up for my newsletter because that's the kind of audience that I want to build on my newsletter. So basically here's the funnel that it goes. And like I said, you can do this on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram. There's a couple different ways. I would say YouTube and X were probably the most beneficial, at least for me. And this again is something that you can start doing right away that costs $0 for your client. So basically, one of their viewers or members come across a content piece. There's a call to action with an incentive, like I just said. And then the viewer visits the landing page with testimonials, product features, and so on. They sign up to your newsletter. They receive a high quality incentive. So 7-page cheat sheet, outreach templates. You guys get that from the day one when you sign up for my newsletter. And then this enters a new subscriber flow. So they enter the new subscriber flow, and then hopefully they buy the high ticket product or service that your company that you're working with is selling. And like I said, here's the main social media platforms that you can use. And then here's the main social media platforms that you can use as well. And then we'll go over this enters new subscriber flow over here. But the paid ways are more for scaling. If you want to scale your agency, let's say from 10,000 to 100,000, you're going to want to go paid. Free is more so getting your feet off the ground, getting the first 10,000 subscribers and so on. But paid can be a couple different things. So social media advertising, which can be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And like I said, this requires a lead magnet. If nobody knows about you, nobody knows your company, your personal brand, why would they sign up for a newsletter that's not going to bring any kind of value to them other than what you're pitching them on the advertisement? Because if I was just to go out there and say, sign up for my newsletter for marketing tips, I may get some people, but if I said sign up for my newsletter for marketing tips, analytics, metrics, and also get this 7-page cheat sheet when you sign up, like that's something that they can take away right then and there, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pretty cool little incentive there. And then newsletter marketing as well. Find other like-minded newsletters or companies that you can collaborate with that aren't direct competitors that are willing to collaborate. So you can promote their newsletter, they can promote you. You may have to pay a little bit for this. This can be free, but 9 times out of 10 will be paid, especially if you're not collaborating. Like if it's a one-time thing. If I were to go to Morning Brew and say like, hey, advertise my Win in Marketing newsletter, they'd probably be like, yeah, give me, $30,000. So that's maybe not as scalable in the beginning. But if you're working with a pretty large company, could be something that you pursue. So just want to throw that in there. And then this is the new subscriber flow. So this is when a viewer comes across, let's say my content piece, and then they sign up for, I'm just going to keep using my newsletter as an example, Win in Marketing. And then they're put into an automated flow that tries to get that person to go from just a viewer to a paying customer or client of whatever product or service that I'm introducing. So this could be a multitude of different things, and every subscriber flow looks different. I just put in some examples that I've used in the past. So introductory email would be, hey, glad you're here. As a thank you for signing up for a newsletter, enjoy this. Use code, whatever for 10% off or whatever percent off that you're using. And then this is, also if you're going to use a pop-up, say get 20% off your first order, they put in their email. Just so you guys better understand, they are automatically thrown into this automated flow that you can build on these email service provider platforms. So we'll have a backstory of your company. This email will have a backstory introducing the customer to the product or service. And then also, you have to have a call to action or else those numbers go way down. So welcome email 2. This can be anything for a follow, asking for a follow on social media, write about a charity you're fundraising for, community involvement. This could also just be customer testimonials that we're going to talk about a little bit down here, but they all look different. So make it your own and make it unique to that company. So what do you think would provide value to the viewer, to the new subscriber? What do you think they need to know more about your company for them to feel more comfortable to buy whatever you're trying to sell, if that makes sense? And then email 3 here, and I don't know if this is all the way in here. I guess it is. In this email, we go over, like I said, foundational products or services that have yielded great reviews for previous clients or customers. So throw a couple customer testimonials in there, client testimonials in there. The more social proof you have, the better, because you don't want somebody coming across your product and they feel like they're the first one to buy it. You know what I mean? Like they want to be, when they buy your product, they want to be behind hundreds of other people that have bought your product and have good things to say about it, because that is social proof. And then, like I said earlier, this can be a 3 to 20 step process that entices a potential buyer to become a customer client. I've seen people that run, like I said, 3-step processes all the way up to 20. So ranged out for a month, which is crazy, but I've heard to be really effective. Adam Earhart, one of the top marketing YouTubers on the platform, has this, a 20-step email flow, and it works really well for him. So pretty cool stuff here. And then the overall pain points you want to hit are educate your subscriber on the industry or company, establish pain points, and then the solutions to those pain points that your product or service has. Provide free value without a sale CTA. So what can I say to my subscribers that would just give them value without coming across salesy? Like, hey, here's my entire flow. I don't have a call to action that I'm using right now other than like saying I want you to sign up for my newsletter earlier, but there's really no buying incentive behind that. It's for free. So I'm just providing this value without a CTA because I want to build that social proof for my brand. Do the same for a company. If I work for a fitness company, you might want to give, fitness tips or at-home workouts they could do, or a free diet plan that you can put out there. Just think of a really good value proposition that you can give your potential buyers, and then give it away for free. Because while you may feel like, why would I give that away for free? I need to be making money. It's actually going to be making you more money in the long run, because you're building that proof for yourself that you know what you're talking about, so that in the future, your customers, your clients feel more comfortable buying the high ticket service that you offer on the back end. Let's say, let's stick with that fitness example. Like, if you're a fitness coach and you charge $5,000 a month for, a workout plan, you're their fitness partner, you give them a diet plan, and let's say you give them the first one for free, well, that is going to entice them to buy that $5,000 a month service. So while you're giving away something for free, you're not giving away the entire package, and that's what they're paying for, the entire package. And then the other work flow here I have is the post-welcome flow. So they've already gone through this. They're now a new subscriber. Maybe they've been into it for a week, a month, whatever time frame that your new subscriber flow has. The post-welcome flow is essentially a post-purchase newsletter flow. So now they're in the process of your newsletter. So let's say I have a newsletter subscriber that's been around for a couple months and they just get my newsletter every week. Well, what can I throw in that weekly newsletter that would provide value and kind of drive them towards becoming a customer or repeat customer? Because a lot of times these people buy and then they want to buy again. Well, here's some ideas and theme and ideation, ideas for an excuse to write a newsletter. So seasonal, holiday emails. If you're running out of ideas for what to write about, think about what time of the year are we in and how can I kind of twist that to become relevant for my product. So, Black Friday, Cyber Monday just passed, but that's obviously a huge, marketing milestone within a year. So a lot of marketing newsletters put out there, Black Friday, Cyber Monday strategies to use for your company. I think there's a lot of value. There's a fly in here. There's a lot of value that you can put behind that. And then a new product and service. So maybe your client launches a new product. You want to list the product features, the limited time deal, customer testimonials, and so on. Really, like I said earlier, just saying, giving those pain points and then providing a long-term solution that your new product has is incredibly valuable, especially as you build this up. Like when you have 1,000 members and you throw out a new product in here, there might be a couple people that buy, but let's be real, it's not going to be as intuitive or lucrative as if you were to have 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. So the value grows as the list grows. But regardless, you want to start from the ground up implementing these flows so that when you grow, it's not much of a hassle. So they're usually, like I said, weekly emails, but can be sent bi-weekly, monthly, or a quarterly time frame. And then business relevant national days. So for example, and I'm going to talk about this company that I work for on the side a little bit right now, business relevant national days. So one of my clients is an Italian restaurant. They celebrated National Pasta Day, or water bottle companies would celebrate National Water Hydration Day. So you want to look up those kind of relevant days so you can throw those in there as an excuse to, write a newsletter. So essentially this is the post welcome flow. How can I write a newsletter on a weekly basis that would entice people to buy whatever product and service that I'm offering? And this is the offer that you're going to give the potential client. If they don't have a good newsletter, they don't have good welcome flows or post welcome flows, pitch this to them. Use this exact framework. It has worked for me multiple times in the past, and it's going to continue to work for me. So literally copy and paste this. It's really, like I said, it's not that difficult once you understand really the foundation on which you're building. So copy and paste that. And then some tools to utilize. So, some people might be saying, well, I understand the flow. Where do I start? What do I use? Pretty easy when you think about it. Design, Canva, Figma, Unlayer, they're really whatever you think is necessary. Strategy deck, Miro board, Canva. You could even do a PowerPoint. I started with PowerPoint and it's kind of outdated now. I use Canva just to create a more professional pitch deck, but I still use it. And then the email service providers we're going to talk about as well. Beehive, ConvertKit, Substack. So that is the working flow. We're not done yet though. Implementation. So this is a little bit more into the nitty gritty. Okay, I know the idea, I know the strategy. How can I go in and actually do the work? So that's where this kind of comes into play here. So design. I used Canva. Again, this is for the Italian restaurant that I work for. That's going to be pretty big one day. I'm pretty convinced. Pechino, Italy. They're a great company. This is the email that I designed for them. We did have a designer make this top graphic. Everything below the fold here, I was able to design myself, and I'm not a designer by any standpoint, but this looks pretty great for a Canva-made email. So pretty cool things here. And you're really just, like I said, calling in a couple different pain points, giving in a couple offers. And this was our Black Friday email. So the shopping is hard. Luckily, we serve really good pasta. So kind of getting away from the Black Friday craziness. So anyway, how can we implement this and actually upload it to our email service provider? Well, so I've designed it. Next, I sliced it. So I took it into Figma, and this is just the flow that the process, the workflow that I do it from. As I go into Figma, I slice up every individual part of the email. So this is obviously one offer. This is one offer right here. Slice 2. Slice 3 is one offer for our reward system, and then slice 4 is just a simple CTA to come into the store. So within each one of these slices, you're going to embed a link. And now with each one of these slices as well, you're going to put into a website like WeCompress or another image compressing website, because for this strategy that I'm using, you're creating the images yourself and then you're uploading the images and then linking each image to be a different CTA. Other places do it differently. You can obviously use the templates within whatever EMS that you're using, but I think that creating the images yourself just gives you more design freedom. And then the workflow that we've had for Pechino, Italy has worked great so far. So that's what we're going to continue to do. So what we've been able to do is I will slice these up. I'll throw them into an image compressing website like WeCompress. It's free and they compress your images down. What this does is it makes your file size not as big. Deliverability is incredibly important with email marketing. You can have the best design, best offer, whatever, but if your customers, if your subscribers are not getting the email, you don't have anything to offer. So I compress these images down from a couple megabytes into like a couple hundred kilobytes, which is ideally what you want to be in. And then you upload the compressed slices into a Beehive, an Omnisend, a MailChimp, a Constant Contact, and also just kind of like, a warning here too. When you upload these, there's going to be padding issues. So padding is like, if I upload this slice right here, it actually may have a little bit of like padding or borders around it. In all of these systems, you're going to want to put that padding to 0 so that they all like touch. Because if you uploaded it, it might upload just like this with like padding on the top, padding on the bottom right here. And then if you were to zero in the padding, it would all come together like this, if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, just shoot me a comment. I'll explain it better in the comment section. But essentially, this is my flow. Really simple when you kind of break it down. And I really just wanted to provide this because, like I said, people have asked for this before, and I really just wanted to provide as much free value on this channel as possible. This is kind of like a free mini course. I'd be happy to go into each one of these more in depth. So that's really it for this video. If you want this, comment it, and I'll throw it on my newsletter for you guys to have. I really don't have anything to sell that's super high ticket, so I just try to give away as much free value as possible. I do have one-on-one consulting in my email marketing mastery that I run, but I rarely ever have a call to action of those in my videos. So I just want to provide as much free value as possible. If you enjoyed this video, if you went on to enjoy this video, please click the like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. There's a lot more like videos like this coming in the pipeline for 2025. So I'm super, super excited, but thank you again for stopping by. Again, if you want this, I'll throw this in my newsletter. So enjoy, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.